Hello people, it's Dan here. Hope you're all doing well, and I'm just making a quick mobile video today, and we're going to have a little look at one of my grape varieties, Lakemont Seedless. So there you go. So these are a delicious variety of grape indeed. Many of you are very aware of the high regard in which I hold this variety in. So a US variety, and very sweet indeed, almost honey sweet when ripe. And year after year, my vines here of this variety give me a beautiful crop. They really are good, and I cannot stress, if you're going to grow a variety of grape in the UK or a similar climate, consider this variety Lakemont Seedless. So the bunch I just showed you on the vine there, and that vine originates from down here. So this is a cutting, or from a cutting I took a few years ago now, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, and every year I prune it. The best time of year in my opinion to prune grapevines is early winter time, so around late November is when I generally prune my grapevines. And you can see here, look, really beautiful bunches of grape all in there. And over here, you go, look, we'll just pass by one of my pear trees on the way. Look, this is variety Concord, which is a lovely variety of grape and has set a lovely crop this year. So this is another Lakemont Seedless vine, and this is actually a grafted vine which I purchased, I think, from Blackmore Nursery. And what I got here, just go under, look, you can see there, look, some more lovely bunches of grape there. So this vine actually goes all the way along the fence here, and I'm actually conducting a little experiment at the moment, and much of the vine here doesn't get much, if any, full sun. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want, just shimmying along here, sorry, I want to see how sweet I can get these bunches. So getting less sun. Now, certainly nowhere near as advanced as the ones further down the vine. In fact, no, they're not actually too bad. And down here, they do need longer though, and you can see the colour, they are still greener, at least they appear that way. So we go all the way down here, look, more here, and look, you can see just how many I've got here. So these really aren't getting any full sun down here, and it's made even harder for them to get the sun hitting them because the leaves are in the way. So this is actually very good what I've done here, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this is also to ripen bunches at different times, so I can get like a successional period of time for my grape ripening, because of course I don't want to have loads of grapes all in one go, because as delicious as they are, there's only so many grapes that one can eat in one time. So you can see, look, just how many there are on here. Look at this lovely amaranth. Lovely colour there, isn't it? On the way back over here. So I haven't done it this year, but one thing you can do with your grape leaves is you can actually remove them to allow the sun to hit the bunches of grapes, thus increasing the sugar content. So remove some of these, and that would really help the sun to hit, you know, the bunch there, to get some nice sweet grapes. As I stated, I've not done that this year, but I've done it in previous years. A little bit about how grapevines fruit. So they produce fruit which come from canes from the previous year's growth. So if you look at this here, this is a bit of, or the previous growing season's growth, I should say. So this here is a piece of last year's growth. So there we go, you can see that there. And then you can see the cane here that comes off of it. So what you want to do is get plenty of growth on your grapevines in a year, and then the next year, that's when you will then get your canes that produce the fruit that come off of it. So you can see here, look, I left this bit here, which was growing over the fence, and I cut that off last year. I left that on or something like that anyway. And you can see that's the cane where which the fruit has produced on. Another little bunch here. Now, squirrels, I have noticed before, have eaten my bunches of grapes, or some of them. Hasn't happened this year. I did see a squirrel, and they're all under there, look. I did see a squirrel in the garden the other day, but not in this part of the garden, so maybe it can't, they can't remember where they were last year. So with regards to situation of grape growing, where they are, south facing wall or fence is the general advice. This is actually facing southwest, so it does get plenty of sun here. But of course, yes, this is facing southwest, this part of the vine here. But because of buildings, etc., it's these grapes are not getting much in the way of sun. So it'll be very interesting to see how these all turn out. So you can see, made a nice size bunch here. Trying to, here we go, try to see what these ones taste like. So yeah, they're definitely sharper, but they're perfectly edible. And these aren't getting a lot of sun. So I tell you, if you people want to grow grapes, you know, and you know, you haven't got an ideal place, or your garden's even in full shade, you may want to consider giving something like this a go, because it's working for me, and I'll leave these on as long as they take. Now, of course, they may stop at a certain level of sweetness because they're not getting enough sun. Who knows? But you know, if you want to grow grapes, but you ain't got much space, or rather you're growing them in a place where, or you have to grow them in a place where there's just not that much sun, you might want to give the old Lakemont seedless a go. And I've got to say, of all the varieties of grape that I've grown myself over the years, or tasted in other people's gardens, I personally think that Lakemont seedless is the one that you might want to consider growing. So very interesting. So whilst I've yapped on a bit here, I might as well take you around the garden a little bit more, and you can see a few other things I've got going on. As I go over here, I've got some carrots here. This is Variety Championship stock growing in this tub here. So I'm going to be harvesting these probably within the next few weeks or so. So there'll be a properly edited video on that. Now, Grapevine Variety Rhea. Now, these are actually getting some sort of fungal disease here. Now, this is probably my fault, because you can see here, I've not pruned my vines, I've not trained them, etc. Now, I know that this variety does grow very well in this country because I've seen them growing in another person's garden. So I'm certainly just going to be probably, you know, pruning and thinning later in the year. And if I get a good crop, we'll come back to that. But don't not grow Rhea because you see this happening here, because I have seen this variety growing very well in another location. It might just be a bad year, but that's how we are in those regards. I'm still getting a few blueberries, Variety Elliot, a late season ripening variety, which is really nice. So, pumpkin here, Variety Pacific Giant. Not a giant pumpkin, but many of you are aware I planted my pumpkins late this year, so that's fine. Very grateful to have got that one. So I've got a pumpkin up here, look at that, one there, and there is also one ripening in there. So what we'll do is we'll just walk into the polytunnel here, and you can see a few things I've got going on. So ginger there, grown from a shop bought root, grocery store bought root, so we'll see how that does. And got a few tomatoes, these will be coming out pretty soon. But variety here, Big Zac, or not so Big Zac as I call it, but in the case of what I'm growing here, but that's fine. And I've got, what have I got? So I'm getting plenty of flowers on my eggplants at the moment, aubergines, but, and I've got one, there we go, look, no good, that's dropped off. So it's not been a very good year for aubergines this year around here anyway. Just don't think it was really warm enough early in the season, and maybe I didn't give the plants the love they needed early on, but that's fine. You know, you cannot do everything. So let's, whoops, dropping the old phone there. Let's have a little look at a bit more here, and got a lovely truss of beautiful tomatoes there. Look at that. I mean, that, if that's not an ornamental beautiful truss, I do not know what is. So let's try one of those. Oh, crikey, man, that's a nice tasting tomato. Now, what this is actually, this I think is a volunteer grown tomato. It was just in the compost, I think, or whatever, and it's now proceeded to grow. And you can just see, you know, that's a lovely ornamental truss there, which is nice. As we go over to this part of the garden, we come to a beautiful sunflower there, variety Sunzilla. Isn't that nice? My dahlias got blown over in the wind that we had. I should have tied them up, but I didn't. This is variety Bora Bora. Now these are really beautiful. Had some gorgeous ones I have. That doesn't really do it justice, but next year I'll probably make a proper video on the growing of dahlias, because these were absolutely fantastic. Still getting a few tomatoes coming up. This is variety Cocktail Crush, which is really nice. Looking over here, these are some mooly radish that I planted. I set these, and I'm actually making a video on how to grow these, so hopefully that'll be up within the next few months or so. And my runner beans mostly have finished now. I'm still getting a few, which are nice. Picked some and had some for dinner this evening, which is good. And actually, down the back, I'm actually growing some cucumbers. So let's have a little look down the back here and see if I've got any cucumbers. Yeah, here we are. So these are a late planting of cucumbers. This is variety Market More 76, which is a really lovely variety of cucumber to grow. But as I stated, I did plant them late. So we'll see just what crop we get. Noticed I've got one there, look, so it's a nice cucumber. Let that get a bit bigger than that before I pick it. Go into the other polytunnel here. So got some potatoes here. These I will be harvesting relatively soon. They're in there, probably still growing, but I think the time is coming to get these out soon. The tops are starting to die back, so probably might even be a good job for the weekend. This, we'll see what happens. But yeah, there we are. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. Going to be getting back to making some properly edited ones soon. I've just been rather busy at the moment, so thanks for your patience dealing with these you know, less quality videos, but just trying to get up some videos so you can see some of the things I've got going on here. Hope you're all doing well. I'm saying hi to you all here. If you want to say hi to me as well, say hi. We all like to say hi. It's nice, isn't it? So there we are. Anyway, thanks a lot for your time, and see you all in the next video. And let's delight at the beauty of the rich vividness colour of the amaranth.